Hello. My name is Nina. Welcome to my channel and welcome to a new Stardew Valley Let's Play video. If you haven't seen the first two parts of this series, I will link them below and also somewhere on the screen. It has been a little while since I filmed a Stardew Valley Let's Play, and that is mostly because I actually had a problem with my laptop. My laptop was so old that it could not handle having both Stardew Valley and my editing software installed, and especially I couldn't play Stardew Valley and screen record at the same time. Like, it just didn't work. So I had to not do it for like maybe almost a year, but I have since gotten a new laptop, so now I am back. As you can maybe see, I did decide to do it a little bit differently. I have screen recorded all of this footage first, and I am now doing like the talking parts. I'm curious to see how that is going to go and if that is like helpful or I don't know, maybe boring, but I thought it would be a little bit easier for me at least to film. So if you see me looking that way, that is because I'm looking at the screen. When I started filming for this video, I really had to think about like where was I in this save because it was so long ago that I filmed the last time. So I was really like, what was the plan? What were we doing? How far were we? And you will see me in this footage kind of figure out like what is happening. I sold a bunch of stuff that I was keeping because last time I was like kind of hoarding stuff, but now I was like, no, I actually need the money. So I sold any extras, and I also looked into the community center and like what do I need for the community center still. Obviously, I am in like the middle of spring and I have 4 chickens, so they are very consistently making me some money, which is great. So the first thing I did on this save was just gather all the stuff, do all the things that I thought were necessary, like collect the eggs and sell any extras. And then I had to kind of decide like, okay, what are we doing? There were a few things that I wanted to do in spring still. I needed to catch some fish. I wanted to get to a certain like level in all skills. I always try to get to level 5 of all skills in the first spring, but that is usually pretty hard. I don't usually make it, but in this case I still wanted to try. So I was just looking at all of my inventory and whatever I needed to like donate to the museum or donate to the community center or whatever. And once I had that figured out, I went into town. And the first thing I did was just donate to the community center. I did collect and harvest a bunch of parsnips, a bunch of gold quality parsnips. So that was one of the things that I needed. But I also just needed to look at like, what do I have? I went all the way to the community center for this, even though I technically didn't need to. I could just open it on my little, like with the chests. But I kind of forgot about it. So that's what I am doing here. But I'm also donating a bunch of stuff that I still had. And it is not my intention to finish the community center in the first year, but I do like to kind of stay on top of it because I will forget. I will kind of lose myself in all of the other things that I need to do. And then I am just kind of forgetting that I also need to save a bunch of stuff for the community center. So it is good for me to kind of keep track of it. So, okay, my cat wants to be part of this video. I guess we will let him. Um, he will probably leave in a little bit. Do you want to sit on my lap instead? Maybe that would be a bit better. Is that better for you? No. All right. Anyway, the rest of this day was spent in the mines because I feel like the mines are one of those things, especially in the first spring, where there is so much stuff that do you now want to sit on my lap? Just not if I put you on my lap. All right. There are so many resources that you need in the mines. Like, I want to craft sprinklers and I want to craft tappers and I want to upgrade all my tools. So I just, besides generally needing to go into the mines and finish the mines. I usually try to go and just collect as much stuff as possible. And I've also learned just a little bit from watching a bunch of videos that the technique, I guess, is to just try and get as far and as deep in the mines as quickly as possible. So just go. Whenever you see a staircase, right, then you just go down again. And then once you are through the mines, you can then go back to the parts or the levels that contain the most of that certain resource that you're looking for. So that is kind of the technique that I am trying to do here. Just whenever I saw a staircase, I immediately went down. So the thing about this talking clip is that I don't want to cut out too much because I'm obviously talking over footage and I'm looking at the footage. So I don't want to like constantly cut things out because then my talking and the footage of the video won't be like synced anymore. So you will notice how often I like can't think of a word or how often I don't pronounce words correctly. English is not my first language, so you will probably notice that in this video. But I also kind of like that it's more of like casual chatting instead of something that I, heavily edit. So as always, just let me know what you think of it and what your preference is, or what has your preference? No, what your preference is, I think. Um, anyway, I feel like the mines are one of those things where it is either going really well and you're constantly in this groove of like, oh, finding staircases, finding resources, or it is like the worst thing and you're constantly struggling with your health and your energy, and there's like all of these animals or like monsters that are attacking you. But this time it went really well. I did not yet upgrade my backpack, so that was a big struggle in this part of the mines where I was like constantly I had to decide which things to keep and which things to not keep because like I said, I wanted to kind of collect as many resources as I possibly could, but I couldn't because I had so little space in my backpack. So at some point you will see me throw away like really valuable gems just because I was like, I don't have a use for them right now and I do have a use for something else. So that is something that you will see me struggle with. Also, I have now reached my least favorite part of the mines of all time. So I had to pick up my phone because I was getting a call. So now I don't know what I was talking about before I was filming. Before I was calling, I mean. But I think I was talking about the fact that we have reached my least favorite part of the mines. And I think anyone's least favorite part of the mines. This is the part where it's like really dark. I do have a glow ring, but it is a very small glow ring. And we have these monsters that are like lurking in the shadows and you don't really see. So I am trying to avoid the monsters as much as possible. I know that technically staircases come faster or have a bigger chance of spawning when you have killed all the monsters on that floor, but I felt just in terms of like amounts of energy and time I had that it was smarter to try and get the staircases as fast as possible. So I only killed the monsters if they were like really annoying me, or if I couldn't go past them, or if they were like constantly hurting me or like making me lose health. So at like 7:20 I was out of my energy and I did not have any food on me anymore. So I went back home and I dropped off all of the stuff that I had gathered. And this is the point where I realized that I still had some speed grow and also some carrot seeds. So I was like, why did I not yet plant these carrot seeds? So for some reason, I first laid out all of the speed grow and then I put the carrot seeds on top and I was like, wait, I don't have as many carrot seeds as I thought. So then I had a bunch of soil with speed grow that I did not have any seeds for. So that was a bit stupid. But I used my last little bit of energy to to water the carrot seeds. And then I think that was the end of my night. I just decided to go to bed and preserve some energy. Always got to check if I have actually pet the cat. And I got mining level 2 and fishing level 4, so that's really nice. And I also did make some money from like selling all of the spare parts and the parsnips that I had grown. At this point, I was like reminded of the fact that I had sent my axe to Clint to have it like upgraded, because I hadn't even missed it at this point. But I realized that I didn't have it because I got the little sign that it was ready. So I started off my day by just watering the plants and saying hi to my chickens and gathering the eggs, of course. And I always try to fill my water can when I'm at the chickens, because it's so annoying when you're trying to water things and the watering can is empty. So that is what I did. And then I decided that it was time to actually invest in some more seeds and crops. So I went over to Pierre's. It was not 9 yet, so I had some time to kill, but I just kind of looked around in like the trash cans and in the calendar, and I saw on the help wanted board that Sebastian wanted topaz, and I didn't have any topaz, but I was planning on going to the mines, so I was like, I'll accept it, and if I find any topaz, then I will give it to him. Spoiler alert, I did not find any topaz, so I did not actually end up like finishing that quest, but that's fine. And then once I went into Pierre's, I got the cutscene of Pierre and what's his name from Jojo Mart. But I skipped it because I have seen that like a million times, so I was not really interested in seeing it again. So then I just decided to buy a bunch of potato seeds. And at first I stopped after 50 because I was like, 50 is enough. And then I kind of thought, and I was like, no, 50 is not enough. So I bought 30 more. And then I ran to Clint's to gather my copper axe. And I wanted to immediately upgrade something else, but I realized that I have spent all my money. So I went into the forest and just kind of gathered specifically salmon berries, but anything that I could find. And then I obviously talked to anyone that I see around town always, just to gather some friendship. And I decided to try out my new axe right away, just to kind of, I don't know, gather some hardwood for whenever I would need it. And then I planted all my new seeds. So luckily, most of the speed grow patches that I had planted yesterday were still there. So I could just add the new potato seeds to those patches of soil, I guess. Is that how you say it? And I planted all of them. And it was kind of like, is it worth it to have this many planted in terms of my energy? But I ultimately decided that at this point, money is so important that I want to, I don't know, spend the extra energy to have as much money as I possibly can. So that is what this is looking like. And I found some extra like retaining soil and speed grow. So I planted that. And then I used my last little bit of energy to gather some wood with my new axe, or my like upgraded axe. What else did I do? Oh, this is the point where I realized that I had to gather some extra clay, because one of the quests, of course, at the beginning is to build a silo. So this was the point where I was like, oh, I need to keep my eye on clay and on the little worms so I can hopefully gather, how do you say, collect some clay and eventually build a silo. And in the meantime, I just used some time to forage a little bit more, because foraging is a great way to use up the day if you have some extra energy, especially early game, and it will make you some more money. So then I went to bed at like 10. Did I make any money? Yes, I did, for my eggs and my forageables. Ooh. Of course, gotta start off the morning with checking the weather and also checking my luck. It was a good humor day, and I also had the quest from Jody for the cauliflower. Some of the carrots were already ready because of the speed grow, so that was great. And then I just decided to start the day with watering all of those new crops. Halfway through, I ran out of water, so I said hi to all of my chickens and filled my watering can, of course, grabbed the eggs. I feel like animals are such an underrated part of early game. I feel like most people start with trying to, plant as many things and make as much money there, or maybe fishing, but specifically with the Meadowlands farm, but with any farm, to be honest, just investing in the animals early, hello, and then having that passive income is so great. It's like it's my best strategy, if you can call it a strategy. I don't know how you say that. Oh, I've said it too many times now. Anyway, I went to the traveling cart and I bought a rare seed, which I did not think about enough. I was like, I have the money, and rare seeds are what can actually get you your first or maybe second star drop. So I was like, let me get on this early, because I actually forgot that that is how you get a star drop for so many years. So once I realized I'm playing on the Switch, just my own personal game as well, and I recently got the star drop for that myself with the rare seed. So I was like, actually, let me buy that early so I can get as much energy as possible early in the game. And then when I bought it and I'd already spent 1,000 gold on it, I realized that it was grown in the fall. So I actually cannot use it for the foreseeable future, which is a great waste of money. But at least I have it for the fall now. I will plant it as soon as I can. And yeah, that is just what it is for now. But I thought I was being really smart, and then I wasn't. Anyway, I've talked through the fact that I gave Jody her cauliflower, and then I went back into the mines. You will see me in the mines a lot in this episode, because the mines are really a big part of early game Stardew Valley. Right now, I'm using the eggs as food mostly. Whenever I can, I sell them, but they're a really great source of free food. So that is what I'm using them for now. And again, I'm using the oh my god. I I don't know how to say that word now. Do you get that sometimes where you say a word too many times and then you think about it too much and then you don't know how to say it? Strategy? Is that the word? Yeah, I think it is. The strategy of going down as soon as I can. And I reached the iron levels, or the frozen levels, so that I could start collecting iron, which is really great because that means I can start upgrading my tools to iron tools. Is that what you say? I guess. So I tried to, besides obviously getting down as fast as possible, to also collect as much iron as I could without spending too much energy on collecting iron. And also, I was trying to get to mining and combat level 5. So I had to start killing a little bit more monsters, just because I was like, if I just ignore all the monsters, then I will not get to combat level 5. And also, obviously, in these levels, you have the bats, and you cannot ignore the bats. If you ignore the bats, you will die. So you will see me battle a bit more in these levels. I will start to go through the mines a little bit faster. I've edited the footage down a little bit more at the end of this episode, or throughout the episode, because I feel like I've spent so much time in the mines that at some point it gets kind of boring to look at, but I also don't know if that's actually the case or if it's still interesting to watch. I'm trying to find a balance between putting multiple days, or maybe even one full season in an episode, just because then I don't have to upload very often or go through the game really slowly. Like, I think it's really annoying if in a year from now I am still in like winter year 1, because every single like episode on YouTube I do is like 10 days max. So there is a bit of a struggle, or like a bit of a juggle, I guess, between like trying to put in all of the interesting parts, but also to not put in too much so the video doesn't get like 4 hours long. This is a whole different thing with like gaming videos. I am clearly not an actual gamer YouTuber. So this is like completely new to me. I don't really know how that works. And also, talking for an hour in like a row, how do people do that? Whenever I watch streams of people, I don't watch like Twitch streams often, but when I do, I'm just amazed by the fact that people can talk the whole time and they don't get tired. They don't know what to say. Like, how do people do that? Anyway, um this is a learning curve for me. So around 11, I realized that I was starting to get exhausted, and I decided to break one more rock so I could kill these, I don't know what they're called, dust sprites. And that one rock actually got me up another mining level, so that's, I think, very funny. So I killed the dust sprites, and then I just went back home so I could go to sleep and like avoid the sluggish energy. Um, so that was the Friday. Mining level 3, very, very nice. So on Saturday, the spirits were displeased, so I decided to not go to the mines. I did get some money in the mail, which was very nice, and I like cleaned up all of the things that I had gathered in the mines. And then, of course, the first task was to just water all of the crops and also sell any extras that I had found in the mines, which in this case was just an amethyst, but better than nothing. So I started to water all the crops, and oh, there was a green bean that was ready. I always forget the green beans when I just have one single green bean plant, but it was time to say hi to the chickens. If you've noticed that there is one single part of this fence, like one little, I guess, wooden beam from the fence missing, yeah, I will fix that at some point. I did not see it until later in the game. I don't know, I missed it, but it's annoying me in the footage, but I will eventually just craft a single wooden fence so I can fix it. But my chickens never got out, so I don't know, they didn't notice it either. So I sold the eggs, and then I started to make some copper bars, because I had realized that I wanted to start and build some tappers, because I would need the like maple syrup and all the other like syrups that the trees give you. And usually I forget to make tappers for like a very long time. And I realized to make tappers, I actually needed to have foraging level 4. So I went back to the forest to forage as much as I can or could to try and gain some levels so I could learn the recipe and then get some tappers. So I said hi to Shane, who is always, oh my god, I tried to say that like 3 times, very rude. And then, this is a funny part of the video, because looking back, this was quite dumb, but I was trying to find the clay still. I still hadn't found enough clay to build the silo. So I went to the beach and I just kind of hoed around, and I also went to different parts of the map to kind of use my hoe in different parts of the soil and try to find some clay. I only found 2 pieces of clay, which was still not enough, and I kept like eating things when my energy ran out, to continue trying to find clay. But I later realized that that doesn't really work. Like, I think only the first few times you hoe in a day will result in some clay sometimes. If you don't use the hoe on like the little worms. So that was a complete waste of time, but I didn't realize that here yet. So you will see me do this a bit more until I actually found the right amount of clay. But yeah, I just didn't really know what to do because I was like, it's the 20th of spring now. I want that silo and I still don't have enough clay. Anyway, the evening was spent just getting more copper bars. I just kind of stood next to the furnace and waited until the copper bar was finished and then immediately put in a new one until I ran out of coal and then I just went to bed. Oh, so here, something actually went wrong with my footage. I don't know why, because I am missing complete like Sunday and Monday. And the only footage I have is here where I am reaching the new levels. So I have reached farming level 5 and I chose the rancher profession, I guess. And then I reached leveling 4 of foraging, which is great, and level 3 in combat. So I guess I foraged and I went to the mines and I farmed, but I don't have any footage of this. So the next full day that I have is actually the Tuesday. So we're missing 2 days here. I'm very sorry. I don't know what went wrong with my footage. But you will see that I think I brought my watering can to Clint because it is raining, thank God, and there were a lot of things ready. But later in the video, you will see me pick up the watering can from Clint, and I don't have any footage of me bringing it there. So I guess that happened in any of these days. But it is a rainy day, and the flower dance is tomorrow. And I just collected all of the potatoes that were on the speed grow soil. So they were already done and I could sell all of them. I just kept the strawberry because I realized that I didn't have a spare one yet. But all of the other stuff I could sell. And then what did I do? Oh, I actually spent some time looking at the Stardew Valley wiki and kind of going through the list of the fish tank bundle and seeing what I needed because I have a lot of knowledge of random Stardew Valley things, but I don't have a lot of knowledge of the fish. So I don't know which ones are like for summer, for spring, for fall, whatever. And since it was a rainy spring day, I was like, I think there are a few fish that I need to catch. And I was right. I actually found 3 fish, the last 3 fish that I needed to catch in spring that all needed rain. So I first said hi to my chickens, of course, and then took my fishing rod to the river to try and catch the first 2 fish because one of them was an eel and I couldn't catch an eel until later in the day. So first off was obviously some random trash that you always find in the river. I usually don't fish in the river unless I really have to, but then I caught a fish, or at least I tried to catch a fish, and I always forget how freaking annoying it is to fish in the beginning of the year or like the save because your little green bar is so small because of the shitty rod. So especially this fish that I tried to catch, it was kind of a struggle. And I feel like later in the game when you've leveled up and you have a better rod, this is so easy. But now I was really struggling with this fish and I really thought that I wasn't gonna get it. But I ended up getting it and I even got the chest. Usually I don't bother with really trying to get the chest unless I am lucky and the fish is like really near the chest and I get them both. And that is what happened here. At some point, the fish was just like right on top of the chest, and then I could get it. And that was the catfish, which I actually needed for the community center. And I also got the other fish. The first fish that I got was also for the community center. So then I ran to Willy because I was like, how expensive is a more professional rod? Because I was going crazy trying to fish with this cheap rod. But then I realized it was quite expensive. So I decided not to invest in it yet. So I just went to the ocean and fished there until it was like time for the eel to come out. And spoiler alert, I actually at some point got so annoyed by using this rod that I went back to Willy's. But I'm now just fishing for random fish to sell because fishing is actually a really great way to make money. So I was like, since I am fishing anyway, I might as well just use this as an opportunity to get more money. So I sold the fish that I caught in the first place, and then I got the fiberglass rod. I didn't get any bait at first, but I caught some bait in again a few of the chests. Do you say chests? Is that what it's like technically called? You know what I mean. But this improved the fishing experience by a lot. It was a lot easier, so I didn't mind just spending the full day trying to catch some fish. So I just kind of kept running around, catching more fish, and then as soon as my inventory was full, I ran into Willie's to sell it again and then continue the cycle all over again. And then at around 4:50, I immediately found an eel. It was really easy. I didn't even realize that I had caught one. So I sold all of the extra fish that I still had right before Willie left the shop. Like, that was perfect timing. And then I ran to the community center to immediately donate the fish to the bundles. So 2 for the river fish bundle and then 1 for the night fishing bundle. So I think we're doing really well on the community center. I have not found what is it called? The red cabbage. But we're fine. We'll manage. And then after the community center, I ran to the lakeside. What was it called? I don't know. To continue fishing there because I have a chest there, so I could put all of my extra stuff in that chest. I totally forgot that I had a chest there. To be completely honest, I did not go there with the intention of having the chest there, but then I arrived and I was like, oh, wait, I actually have the chest. So then when I ran out of energy, hello, can I be in the shot too? No? When I ran out of energy is when I went home and I just decided on what things to take with me. It is impossible to film with you. So I sold anything that I could sell. And then again, here I'm planting things that I did not actually really think of because I ended up wasting these seeds because I didn't realize that it was already so late in the season. So those seeds did not actually make it. But that's fine. I reached level 5 fishing, so I decided on the fisher. I always choose the fisher because I don't use crab pots ever, not even really when I need them, because it's just such a hassle to like refill them every day. I made a lot of money from all of the potatoes that I had collected throughout the morning and then all of the fish that I sold in the afternoon. So that was great. Another rainy day, I think. Am I wrong? Yes, I'm wrong. Not a rainy day, but the day where my potatoes were done. Because I was like, I still didn't need my watering can, but I didn't need it because I was collecting all of the potatoes, so many potatoes, and I reached a new level of farming once again, which is great, and I could immediately sell all of those potatoes, which again was great. Then I said hi to my chickens, of course, once again, and I collected their eggs, and I also realized that I needed to give them more hay because it was raining yesterday. So thank God I remembered that on time so I didn't have to run back. I had already brought the hay, and this is the point where you will see me actually use the like little hole in the fence. I did not fix it yet, but I did realize it was there, so it will be fixed soon-ish. Back to the mines we go. I have reached level 40 at this point, so again, we have good humored spirits, so it is just the goal to get as far as possible and to collect as much iron and copper in the process. I really wanted to try and get a few, as many as I could, of the like medium quality sprinklers by summer. So the goal was to get iron for that, and then also quartz, so I could smelt those into refined quartz, and then obviously get to the gold levels as fast as possible. So I also had some gold. Now, I did not forget about the flower dance. I just decided that it was a waste of time to waste my morning on just like waiting for the flower dance. So I decided to try and get to level 45 to the next elevator before the flower dance. And then just run to the forest as soon as I reached that level. I did not have enough hearts, or I do not have enough hearts with anyone to actually dance with them. So I didn't have the chance for that. But I wanted to check out the little shop. I debated on getting the rare crow, but I thought it might be better to get it next year because I would probably have a little bit more money next year. So I didn't end up buying anything. I did say hi to everyone because I don't know if this is actually true. Tell me in the comments if it is. But I've heard that the way you talk to people during events impacts the hearts more than if you usually talk to them. So it's smart to always talk to everyone at any event. Besides, obviously, the fact that it's fun to talk to them. But yeah, I don't know if that's actually true, but I did do it. So I just went around and talked to everyone, but I didn't ask anyone to dance because I knew that they would all say no. So I just watched the dance from the sidelines, which is fine. Next year, I am going to dance with someone. I have actually decided that this is the save where I want to try to get to 10 hearts with everyone. So that means that I'm going to try to date all of the dateable bachelors and bachelorettes in this game. I've never succeeded in that before. I've tried it before, but I have never actually gotten to 10 hearts with every single one. So I am curious how that's gonna go. But I think it will be fun. I think this save is a perfect I don't know, perfect excuse to try that. So I don't know who I will actually be dancing with next year. I guess we will see. By the time I went home, it was obviously still 10. So I had a little bit of time before I wanted to go to bed. So I decided to sell some things and also to make some more bars. I could craft 2 tappers with the amount of copper that I had. So I put them on just some random trees that were around, and then I went to sleep and I reached farming level 6, which means I reached the level that will actually get you the oh my god. Okay, wait. The sprinkler recipe is what I wanted to say. I didn't realize that I think on the days that I was not filming, or the footage that I lost, is actually the day where I asked Robin to build the silo, because here I just got the message that the silo is built. So I guess I fixed the copper, what is it called? The clay problem. But I just don't have that on film. So anyway, my silo is ready here. Great. Also, I got to choose between the bats and the mushrooms. I decided on mushrooms because I think with the dehydrator that you get with it, that is actually more profitable now in 1.6. I usually go for the bats because then you don't really have to check on it often. It will still spawn new fruits even if you haven't taken away the old fruit. And with the mushrooms, obviously you only have those 6 spaces, but I still decided to do it for now. And then I realized that I had all of the materials to craft a mushroom machine, which is not mushroom, mayonnaise. I'm sorry. That is like the best way to make money when you have chickens early game, especially again in the Meadowlands farm. So I went to Clint to pick up my copper watering can, and I immediately opened some geodes and then donated any extras to the community center, no, to the museum. Oh my god, I have been talking now for 50 minutes. At least in my little, like, I am obviously gonna edit this down a little bit, but 50 minutes is a long time, so I'm kind of struggling with my words at this point. But anyway, I donated the extras to the museum, and I had some rewards. I usually just leave the ones that I'm not really interested in, so I left these for next time, and then I went back to the mines. Surprise, surprise. So, I don't know if I have much more to say about this, except that this was the point in the mines where I was getting really annoyed with my low quality sword, and I realized that I have quite a lot of money saved up now because I sold all of the potatoes as well. But I wanted to wait until I was at an elevator again, so I had to deal with this sword for a little while more until I was ready to go to the Adventurers Guild and get a new one. Especially, I think what really got me to that point is the ghosts. The ghosts are so annoying when you have a poor sword because you don't get to do enough damage in one go, and they are so slow. But then when they do get to you, they do like a bit of damage. So this is the level where I was like, I need to invest in a better sword because this ghost is kicking my ass because I tried to kill the bat and then I tried to kill the ghost, but the ghost kept getting away from me and then I had to wait and it was such a waste of time, and I ended up just kind of leaving before I could kill the ghost because at first I was like, let me gain this experience for the combat level and kill the ghost, but then it was taking so long and I was like, this is such a waste of time. So I just ran away with the staircase and did not actually kill the ghost. And on the next level, again, you see me kind of struggle with trying to avoid the ghost, but then again kind of not being able to avoid the ghost. So then as soon as I hit another elevator level, I went and sold my old sword and bought the most fancy sword that I could buy, which was this level 5 one. So then I went straight back to the mines and it was so much better with the new sword. It was like, it really was a game changer. I felt like killing the monsters was so much easier and it took so much less time. So you will just see me battling more monsters as we go on. Hello, are you back? Do you want to say something? The only reason that he's sitting here with me is because it's almost dinner time. And he is waiting for me to make my dinner so I can make him dinner too. Anyway, starting 1.6, it is really important to always check all of those boxes because usually a lot of good stuff comes from it. In this case, I had some cave carrots that I could eat, which was great because I was running out of energy. I was also running out of time because it's like kind of getting late, but I feel like I'm making decent, excuse me, decent progress in the whole mines. We're going pretty fast, which is great. And then at some point it got too late and I had to run home because I didn't want to die and lose the energy tomorrow or lose the money. So I went back to the farm and went to sleep. Morning routine. Say hi to the cat, check the weather, check the spirits. Spirits in good humor again. And it was a rainy day, so that was very nice for my energy levels. I sold the first mayonnaise that I made, and I also checked the mail and saw that I was going to be in a magazine. They didn't give me any money, so like, why am I in the magazine in the first place? But this is when I started to turn all of my eggs into mayonnaise if I was not eating them, because mayonnaise is worth so much more money than just regular eggs. And then I just looked through my chest and found some extra things things that I could donate to the community center, I had found in the mines 2 of the 4 forageables that you need for winter, and I wasn't sure if I should donate them or if I should like use them in the seed maker or wait to use like to donate them. But I was like, I don't think I can turn them into a way that I can make more winter forageables, so I just decided to donate them, and hopefully we will find some other ones as well, so that we can try to finish this bundle before winter, because I believe this is the one that gets you the greenhouse, which of course you would want as early in the game as possible, specifically before winter. So we're back in the mines. Again, just trying to gather as much stuff. And also, this is the point where I realized that there were some things from the mines that we needed for the community center bundle. And I really wanted to try and finish the bundle just like as a first bundle. I thought it would be fun, or like the first room, I guess. I thought it would be fun to try and finish one of the rooms in the first spring. So I decided on I don't know what it's called, the mine bundle, I guess, because that was the one that I had already filled up the most. And the only thing I needed was the solar essence that I got from the ghosts, and then a golden bar, I think fire quartz, which you get in the like gold parts of the mines, and also one more, the frozen tear. And at this point you can see my inventory that I had found a frozen tear and also found the solar essence, and I was collecting a little bit of gold, but I needed to just get to the gold levels of the mines as fast as possible to also try and find the fire quartz. So again, just going down as fast as possible. I'm plugging in my mic because it's almost empty, so now it's not a wireless mic anymore. But anyway, I reached the levels of the mines that include the gold, so that is great. I don't think I've ever been this far into the mines this early in the game. I also don't think I've ever spent as much time in the mines in the first spring as I have in this game. But then I very quickly ran out of energy and ran out of time, so I had to run home with pretty much all of the things that I needed except the fire quartz. So that is something that you will see as a reoccurring thing in this video. I did reach level 4 combat and level 4 mining, so that was great. And then it was the last Saturday of the season, and we had annoyed spirits, so I decided to not go to the mines and just do some farming stuff. So I took the mayonnaise to the shipping bin as usual, and then I watered the plants that I still had to water. I did not really realize that I didn't need to do that because they weren't going to grow anyway. Not in time for the end of the season, at least, but whatever, that I still did it. I said hi to my chickens, and I gave them more hay after the rainy day, and I collected the eggs to make some more mayonnaise. Again, morning routine. And then I chopped some wood because I realized that I had pretty much enough to build a barn. I just needed more wood. So I spent a couple of hours and whatever energy I had to chop down some trees to gather the wood that I needed to. And I also wanted to keep some wood because I had since gathered some new copper so I could make a new tapper, because I had 2 tappers on 2 types of trees, but I wanted to put it on all 3 types of trees. So I wanted to make one more tapper. So that's where I put the why I put the copper in the furnace, and then I just kept collecting wood, and I crafted one as soon as I could. and I just put it on a random tree of the kind that I hadn't put one on yet. And then I went to Robin's, only to arrive exactly when she left her house, so I couldn't actually build the barn, even though I had collected enough wood to build the barn. And then I was like, oh, it doesn't matter, I'll go to the museum and donate some things. And then I didn't look up when the museum closed, and I was there too late again. So I just went back to my little fishing spot and the chest that I have there to put everything in, and then continue fishing for the rest of the night. I did not catch a lot because I used most of my energy for the chopping of wood, but I did catch a few things that I could then sell and just make a little bit more money. But I felt like this day was so wasted because I tried to do so many things that kind of failed. So anyway, I sold all of the extra stuff that I had, and then it was time to go to bed and get ready for the last day of the season. Before I did that, I smelted some gold, so I had a gold bar to put in the community center bundle. Luckily, on the last day, we had some good humored spirits because I needed to go to the mines to find that last thing I needed for the bundle, which was the fire quartz. So I fed my chickens. I realized that I still had some hay in one of my chests, so I put it in the silo, and I obviously said hi to my chickens, gathered the eggs, put the eggs in the mayonnaise machine, and then finally decided to craft one single fence so I could close off the little gap. Then I ran to Robin's, and I actually had to wait a little bit, but I didn't want to miss her this time, and I moved over the coop just a little bit so that I could put the barn right next to it. I will eventually like redo the whole farm and actually make some space for both the barn and the coop, but at this point I didn't really want to spend the time and the energy to clear off another area, so I just put it there for now. Then I went to the museum and donated the things that I wanted to donate yesterday, and I was so annoyed because I had one little gap there, so I put one there, and then I wanted to start a new row and I accidentally put one space next to it. So that's so annoying to look at. But anyway, then I went back to my farm to do the last few things. I accidentally killed this strawberry plant, which was not my intention at all. But it didn't really matter because it was the last day of the season. I sold the last few things and also went back for that green bean because my inventory was full. And then I gathered all the things that I would need to go into the mines. Now, at this point, I was like, I don't think the mines will take that long. It shouldn't be that hard to find a fire quartz. So I'm not going to take any food because I think I can better sell it than that I can eat it. So I'll go to the mines without any food, and I'm sure I'll be fine. Famous last words, but I think this was level 100, which is crazy for year one. And I looked around and I looked around and I gathered whatever I could, but I could not find for the life of me a fire quartz. And it was so annoying because I was like, how hard can it be? I feel like when I'm not looking for it, I am constantly finding fire quartz in these levels of the mine. But no. And then I completely ran out of energy. So I actually ran back to the farm to get some food, drop off anything in my chest that was like cluttering up my inventory. And then I took anything that I still needed to donate to the community center for that specific bundle. So I would have everything for if I would have if I would find the fire quartz. So I ate my eggs that I still had, and then I took the gold bar and the other thing that I needed, and I went back to the mines. And I looked and I just fought some more monsters, and I looked and I looked and I, spoiler alert, did not find anything. Or, well, I found things. I did not find the fire quartz. So when I ran out of energy once again, I just ran to the community center and I accepted defeat, and I realized that I was never going to finish the first bundle or the first room in the first spring. I was running out of health. I was running out of energy. I almost died there, but I didn't. So I just donated those last two things that I had. I did finish this bundle, and also this one, but I did not finish the whole boiler room. I did unlock the two final bundles, or the two final scrolls, I guess. Is that how you say it? So I can start working on those once I start my summer. So this was the rest of my spring in Stardew Valley Year 1. Let me know what you think of this format of video. I feel like I rambled so much, but maybe it was enjoyable to watch. I hope it was enjoyable to watch. Thank you so much if you watched this whole video. That is really a bit crazy to me. I'm trying, like I said, I want to put like one season in one video. So that means that I'm going to be filming for a while, and then maybe in like December or something, I can post the video of the whole summer. So let me know what you think of that idea, or if you have any suggestions for how to do it differently. For now, again, thank you so much for watching, and I will hopefully see you again next week. Bye!